Agriculture is man's first heritage, and over the years, this heritage has shone bright. Nations who have embraced this heritage make it a priority to continue to develop this all-important sector. As far back as can be remembered, agriculture was the mainstay of the Nigerian economy. Major cash crops including cocoa, cotton, groundnut and palm oil earned the nation her foreign exchange until the mid-50s, when oil was discovered in commercial quantity in Odoibiri in the Niger Delta region. This discovery shifted the nation to become dependent on oil to earn foreign exchange. This hugely affected the agriculture sector and marked the beginning of the neglect of our heritage. In times past, agriculture accounted for over 90% of the nation's GDP, but now contributes only about 40%. The crash of global oil prices, further worsened by domestic issues, affected Nigeria's economy. There was need to seek an alternative to oil revenue and reclaim the glory days of plenty. Agriculture once again gave the breathing room for the economy. Right from the start, the Muhammadu Buhari-led federal government named agriculture as a key part of its economic growth plan. In Kwara State, the decision to return to agriculture dates back to 2003. This was when Zimbabwean farmers relocated to 13,000 hectares of arable land for farming in Shonga town. Today, under the leadership of Dr. Abdul Fattah Ahmed, Shonga farms have continued to grow. The farm is now the major distributor of dairy and poultry products within and beyond the shores of Nigeria, with significant production of rice, maize and soybeans, among other crops.
The Shonga farm concept, like you rightly put it, is a success story. It has become a tourist of sort for students, agri-students all around the country, and even farmers that want to get to know new technology in farming. The Kwara State government, having established Shonga Farm, has been able to create an enabling environment for the Zimbabwe farmers that came in to thrive. And that in itself has helped local farmers. Before the advent of these Shonga farms, farmers in that locality produce between 0.8 to 1.2 tons of maize per hectare. And with this, the coming of these farmers that has brought new technologies and has transferred technologies, they have been able to move from that hectarage to 5 to 6 tons. That, you agree with me, it's quite huge for food security in a state like ours.
With the success of Shonga farms, Kwara State has become a model in commercial farming operations. To bring agriculture into proper focus and lay a solid foundation for sustained growth into the sector, Dr. Ahmed in 2012 launched the Kwara Agriculture Modernization Master Plan, CAMP, and laid out his administration strategy to revamp the state's agriculture sector.
What we have learned from the farmers who brought in from Zimbabwe to start commercial farming, we have since seen that commercial farming can truly be approached from a methodically designed agri program, and setting up of camp is largely expected to take advantage of what we have learned and translate this to our youths who will take up agriculture as a means of livelihood and truly as a means of wealth creation. And I'm happy to let you know that it has moved us up to setting up what we call an off-takers demand-driven agri scheme. This is a clear picture we have learned from the commercial farmers on how to start the primary agricultural levels and linking them up to the secondary and tertiary levels. Because we've seen so much gaps in the past where investment has gone into primary levels and there's a complete disconnect with secondary and tertiary levels, leading to lots of wastages and of course leading to loss of income. But this has since been taken care of with this off-taker demand-driven scheme we have put in place. Now through an agric mall we have set up, which is a one-stop shop, which allows for input access, both in seeds, in other feedstock for the primary agric levels. And government has created a platform for land clearing on large-scale basis, have supported hitherto farmers I would call subsistent farmers to move to commercial levels, because we've seen how to aggregate them into cooperatives and get them linked to specific off-takers. So it allows farmers to begin to see how to put their strength in what they know how to do best, which is farming. And this will be aggregated into a harvest level that will be off-taken by specific consumers. So farmers do not have to face the problems of selling. And of course, that gives them enough time and capacity to look for the next planting season.
In line with the blueprints of the Agriculture Master Plan, necessary incentives and policies were put in place to encourage more people to buy into agriculture at its various entry points of the value chain. Initiatives such as the Off-Takers Program, launched by the Alhaji Ahmed administration, has become an exemplar model owing to the success so far.
When this government came in 6 years ago, the governor decided to redirect agriculture, and the priorities are in such a way that it commissioned the study of agriculture in Kwara State, which led to the Agric Master Plan of 2012, which is where the ODDA scheme, the Off-Takers Demand-Driven Agric scheme, was derived from. So, charting this course right from the inception and giving direction to how the state wants to run its agricultural sector has helped us so much to where we are right now.
We are focusing on three major crops, which is rice, maize, and soybeans for the current farming season that we're running. And what we do here is that we are not giving money to farmers. We give them inputs, we give them chemicals, we give them seed, which we monetize, and we ensure that these things get to the farm. We have extension farmers that monitor them, and what is produced is then bought back by off-takers through government intervention. Now, what this has done is that it gives our farmers a sense of guarantee that what they produce will be bought.
Now entering its third season, the Off-Takers Demand-Driven Agriculture Project is making the state a key player in leading the agriculture revolution in Nigeria, giving agriculture its place of pride by boosting the production capacity of local farmers.
We got rice seed, we got maize seed, and we got soybean seed from the state government under ODDA program. The ODDA program is to empower farmers, only practicing farmers. The state government provided us with input such as seed, chemicals, and fertilizers. And if you are not a farmer, you will not be given. So then we were given labor, money for labor, that for planting, for chemical application and fertilizer application so far.
The government has make the farmers in the state very, very proud. I can clearly state it that the wonderful job that the governor has at least put in place for today is by engaging both the youth, the women, and the adults in agriculture under this ODDA program. And it all entails about planting, encouraging, and marketing of farm produce. That is, whatever you plant, whatever the government is actually assisting you with, they are still ready to offtake, that is buying them from the farmer.
The ODD is off-taker demand-driven agriculture. I use the opportunity to thank the governor. His program is helping the farmers. This year, we actually see the impact of the government as per agriculture.
The government has tried a lot because they make available all what we need, be the inputs, the extension workers, and all what we need to succeed. They prepared the land for us, gave us the extension worker to advise us on what to do, and we have started. You can see my farm. We have started, and it's just an opportunity this government is giving us to succeed as a youth, which is giving us the high that we can be millionaires in the nearest months. You could imagine if I harvest this, I'm telling you, in the next 3 months I'll be a millionaire.
Farming inputs are important for a successful agro-business environment. Hence the setting up of the Kwara Agro Mall. The first of its kind, this mall is a one-stop center for everything a farmer needs. Seedlings, chemicals, fertilizers, equipment, as well as extension services can be found at this mall. A solid database is essential for decision-making and projections. To achieve this, the Kwara Agro Mall recently embarked on a biometric exercise to capture details of all farmers in the state across the 16 local government areas.
Being a coordination center for farmers' needs, we sometimes last year have gone through various locations across the 16 local governments to register farmers. And while registering these farmers, we go to their farm to register them on the farm. So at the end of the exercise, we have about 25,000 farmers registered. So this database was forwarded to the state government in the commencement of the off-taker demand-driven agricultural program, which we forwarded a list to them, and some farmers were shortlisted. So further to the shortlisting, we deemed it fit that it's not enough to just shortlist them, because it is possible within the period when they were registered and now their status must have changed. So we shouldn't just work with what we have earlier. So we felt there should be a screening, and that was why this exercise is ongoing.
The state government's Estate Farm Development Program has opened up 2,500 hectares of farmland across the state, targeting 1,000 farmers to whom portions are to be allocated. These farmers will be supplied with farm inputs, funds, and all needed services from the start of the farming season till harvesting. However, with the renewed interest in farming created by the state government, the project has been oversubscribed by farmers, particularly the youths. Produce from the farms are bought by off-takers through an agreement that makes the farming process more efficient and profitable for beneficiary farmers.
The state government has asked the local governments to make land available, but so far we have 400 hectares of land cleared in Okeoyi, which is essentially what we have designated as youth farm. There we are dealing essentially with the youth. It's an empowerment program, and so we are allocating about 2 hectares per youth. For those that are upstarts, 5 hectares per youth who are already in the business of farming. So we have 400 hectares in Okeoyi. We have 300 hectares in Ejidongari in Kwara North. We have 150 hectares in Bodesadu. We have 200 hectares in Share. We have 50 hectares in Agbamu, 50 hectares in ACL, 50 hectares in Odowa. We have 50 hectares in Owode of Aru. We're also collaborating with the Lower Niger River Basin, to have access to lands that they have already cleared. We are working with AFAN, that's the All Farmers Association of Nigeria. They are farmers, they already have access to lands. And then we're also funding individual farmers.
In spite of the success recorded in agriculture, perhaps the most important and praiseworthy is a forward-looking approach that seeks to make agriculture attractive to the youth and women, to address issues of unemployment and youth restiveness at the same time. In Kwara State, the Governor Ahmed administration is using agriculture to tackle unemployment and create the much-needed jobs for its youth, as well as reposition the sector to appeal to the younger generation.
The important thing here is that we've been able to see how agriculture can translate from the basic level to tertiary level, de-risking each of the levels and creating avenues for youths to play their roles and other local farmers who hitherto were subsistent to key into a commercial program which will see wealth creation and, of course, economic drive in the state.
Farming, as I see, is a solution to everything, because farming provides raw materials for everything, our clothing, our food. Majorly everything we do has to do with farming. It has helped in reducing looking for employment, going about looking for a job and everything like that. And it's a very lucrative job that you can depend on for a lifetime. I would say a very big thank you to Governor Fatai Ahmed for providing this opportunity, because I see it as an opportunity to become whatever you want to become in life. So I'm saying a big thank you, and you should continue in this trend.
I love agriculture majorly, and also there's an aspect of my course that deals with development, agricultural development, majorly under rural development. So I actually choose farming because I want to work towards being a major player in the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goal, which is driving at eradicating, like ensuring food security and eradicating malnutrition. That's what drives me into farming. I want to appreciate Governor Fatai Ahmed for what he has done and the giant step he has taken. And I know there are still going to be some other programs they want to go into. Maybe the time might possibly be the constraint that they should try and ensure they achieve this. Because by doing this, we will see that in a short while, our goal of going back to our previous name, which is the Giants of Africa, we're going to achieve within a short period of time. Because I believe that youth are ready to work if they are given what is required.
The achievement we make on farming this year will be more better than former years. Because we know what it means now. Like me, look at me. You can't believe I'm in market, put on my jeans or whatever it is, and my cap or my short hijab. You will not believe I'm a farmer. I'm a great farmer. If you go to look at all what we are doing. Look around. I don't use my hand on anything. We look for labor to plant. We look for tractor to uproot. So what is the difficult thing for youth, especially youth and women? This is our area now. We are the nation builder. We are the nation builder. We are the one that can build the nation, be authentic in feeding. So please, women and youth, come around, join us and enjoy the farming. On behalf of the women and farmers, we thank our governor, Abdul Fatai. We are really grateful. We thank you that God Almighty will continue to wield your power and more enlightenment on women and youth on farming. Because if you didn't forget women and youth on farming, definitely the Kwara State will be able to feed the whole world.
Without doubt, agriculture is key to food security and long economic growth. In Kwara State, Alhaji Ahmed is making agriculture an engine house for the economy, giving the sector the much-needed boost to rebound. A further window has been created for farmers in the highly successful SME scheme of the state, making affordable capital available for those in the agric business.
In our continuous search for ways and manners to take people off the unemployment shelf, we found out that food security using agric is one of the ways. Of course, before now we had a window with the sum of close to 278 million naira for agric. But realizing that agric can pull more crowd in terms of bringing people off the unemployment shelf, we have focused a lot on agric now, and we're doing it in two ways. We're working with the established farmers, and we're working with people who are trying to get into agric, most especially youths. So we have what we call estate farms. We have cleared and prepared lands where we have brought in people to come and do their farming. We assist them by giving them everything they need, seedlings, chemicals, fertilizers, for them to plant in those estate farms. We support them with extension agents who are staffers of Ministry of Agric and ADP to help them nurture those farms up to the point where they will harvest and sell.
The SME program of the Governor Ahmed administration also recently received commendations. This came from the management of the Bank of Agriculture when it paid a courtesy visit to the governor. The Executive Director, Finance and Risk Management, Prince Ni Akenzua, who led the visit, commended the vision of the governor by empowering youth through agriculture using single-digit interest loans under the SME scheme. He also spoke of the bank's readiness to work with the Kwara state government in the area of agriculture.
We are looking at funding tractors to encourage, to increase yield for farmers. We are looking at expanding the scope of the reach to farmers, rural farmers, because the federal government's mandate is really to empower rural community. We want to create jobs for our teeming youths, unemployed youths, rural women. We're glad to know that there is a very functional structure in place in Kwara State, the type that we know does not exist in many states. And yes, so we were. The structure is so well crafted that I just said all we need to do in our partnership is to plug and play. And we're glad to note that the microfinance banks you have, Excellency, are subsidized such that they are able to lend on the single-digit interest rate. That is really a huge sacrifice from the state government to empower the people.
Governor Ahmed, in his response, shed light on the success of his administration's agriculture policies and programs and welcomed the offer to partner with the bank to further boost agriculture in the state.
Agriculture cannot be pursued in the way we did in the past. That is why we have now moved from subsistency to commercial levels. The current wave and activities we see in agriculture is largely resulting from the closing borders and inflow of a lot of imported items. Like we used to have a lot of imported maize and other imported agri-produce, which then give our farmers the necessary platform to make revenue from agri-ventures. As it is today, with the current effort of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, and indeed for us in the state, we see this partnership truly moving us from the current level we are today to the desired level of commercial agriculture, especially taking advantage of what we have here. We have land, we have surface water, and then we have underground water.
The success of the agricultural policies and programs of the Alhaji Ahmed administration is in no doubt paving way for private sector partnership in agric business in Kwara State. This is evident in the recent visit of the management of Queen McGrath Limited during a courtesy visit to the governor at the Government House. The chairman, Mr. Didi Ndiomo, who led the visit, indicated the company's interest to invest in the state's agricultural sector, which will help create jobs for the youths and impact the state's economy.
We recently acquired 1,800 hectares of land for farming in Malete, and we're in the process of acquiring another 900 hectares for animal husbandry. We intend to create the first real feedlot in Nigeria, in Kwara State. We will be doing about 60 to 120,000 cows per annum in this feedlot. We will make Kwara State an example to the whole of the country.
The noteworthy progress made in Kwara State's agriculture sector is not letting up. There is no doubt that if this progress is sustained and replicated across this nation, agriculture will make Nigeria great again. Kwara State, it's good here.